67% of millionaires have this one thing in common. What's up everybody, Steve here. I've been following Dave Ramsey for a while now, and if you haven't heard of the guy, just put him into YouTube. Now I came across this article called Business Insider, and I'll leave a link down for you guys as well. His partner, Chris Hogan, who works closely with Dave Ramsey, and in a partnership with the Dave Ramsey research team, they did a study of 10,000 American millionaires with a net worth of over $1 million. And this study consisted of them analyzing these individuals for a 7-month period. Now, Chris Hogan wrote in his book, Everyday Millionaires, if you want to know why most people don't become millionaires, look no further than the 30-year mortgage. Now, I did another video as well that breaks down the commonality of all the millionaires that further describes their entire research project. But for today, we're just going to talk about the one commonality that 67% of millionaires have in common, which is the mortgage. Now, as a real estate broker, I've sold a lot of real estate to first home buyers, to second home buyers, to investors. And I can tell you, a majority of people do opt in for a 30-year mortgage, and even Freddie Mac actually states in an article as well, about 90% of US home buyers opt for a 30-year mortgage. Now, according to Hogan's research, the average millionaire paid off their house in 11 years, and 67% live in homes with paid off mortgages. This puts their home entirely in the asset column of their net worth and wipes their biggest debt off of the liability column. Now, an asset puts money into your pocket, a liability takes money out of your pocket. Now they're talking about the average millionaires paying off their home in 11 years. I think that's fantastic. I also have another video on how to pay off your mortgage quickly. If you guys want to check that out, I'll put a link down below for you guys as well. Now I'm going to go through the two different scenarios of a 30-year mortgage and a 15-year mortgage and show you guys how much interest you guys are going to be saving in that duration of time. Alright guys, so let's check out these two examples. We got the 30-year mortgage here and we got the 15-year mortgage. So let's say that the interest is exactly the same. I think in this scenario I put a 4% interest rate. So we're talking about a debt position of $225,000. So you buy a property, you put say 5%, 10, 20% down, and you get a mortgage for $225,000. On a 30-year mortgage, your principal and interest payment is going to be $1,074. Over a 30-year period, you're going to pay $161,000, just over $161,000 in interest alone. So if we calculate that out based on our debt position and our interest, that $225,000 or say $250,000 property, we're going to pay $386,000 for that property. Now let's take a look at the 15-year mortgage. 15-year, $225,000 debt, same interest. The monthly payment obviously is going to be higher because the amortization schedule went from 30 years to 15 years. So instead of paying just over $1,000, you're paying $1,664 on this scenario. Over a 15-year period, we're paying interest of $74,000 as opposed to $161,000. And now you can see the debt position plus the interest. This we're paying about $300,000 for that same property as opposed to $386,000. So you can see in this scenario you're saving almost $87,000 by choosing a 15-year mortgage as opposed to a 30-year mortgage. So if you are considering on maybe even refinancing the home that you're in, or if you're considering on buying a home, take a look at the different options, run these numbers with your mortgage broker or your banker to find out where you feel comfortable with your monthly mortgage payment. And if you're saying, Steve, look, I can only afford the $1,100 a month based on, say, a $250,000 purchase price, can you realistically still live comfortably if you bring that purchase price down? You might be pre-approved for $250,000, but can you get into something smaller and live in a smaller situation that's maybe $150,000 to get you into a 15-year mortgage as opposed to the 30-year mortgage? Now, I can attest to this because once I became free and clear on the property that I live in, my life changed. And the reason is things became completely different in terms of stress levels, in terms of comfort level, in terms of happiness, in terms of having more time to sit back and think and contemplate. Once I became mortgage free, the property felt different. I felt different. I didn't have that anxiety of making a mortgage payment every single month. Once I alleviated that, the stress dissipated. Once you guys can do the same, then you're able to actually take that overage. You know, if we're paying $1,600 a month and eventually we're free and clear, we're used to, and we're smart with money, we're used to that $1,600 a month going out. You keep that same mentality, you take that $1,600 and you put it into the next investment. You might be able to stack, you know, $1,600 over a couple year period and be able to buy maybe 2 investment properties with that overage of $1,600 a month. And then you keep doing it and it becomes almost like compounding interest, where you're taking all this overage money that you are used to spending and used to paying out, and you're taking it and you're investing it, and you're investing it into assets that are going to produce income and hopefully passive income for you and your family and generations to come. Now, I've heard Dave Ramsey talk about this study multiple times on his YouTube channel, and it's really cool to understand the mentality of the millionaire. And make sure you guys do watch this next video that I talk about in terms of a lot of commonalities, additional commonalities of the average millionaire, because it's not what you think. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. If you guys are buying or refinancing, check into the 15-year mortgage, and also think about it. Even on a 15-year mortgage, if you're able to add another $100 a month to that principal, you could even decrease this 15-year note into maybe 11 years or 10 years or 9 years. So any additional overage that you're able to add into principal reduction on your mortgage is only going to help you guys reduce the amount of interest you're paying, and it's going to get you guys to quickly be able to pay your mortgage off, and you're going to live a more stressless life. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, and if you got any value out of this, I appreciate a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks a lot.